Welcome to the A Monday Moment with Dr. Mal podcast, where each week I, Dr. Mal, share life lessons and motivation to kickstart your Monday. Whether you're starting your day or winding down, join me or me and my future guest for a burst of positivity and a fresh perspective. Let's make Mondays meaningful together. Greetings and happy Monday, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Mallory D. McCoy, and welcome to this week's episode of A Monday Moment with Dr. Mal. As always, may this broadcast bring you what you need in the present moment. May my light exude positivity and kindness, and may my love be extended to all who could use a little extra. Ashe. Let's seize the moment. Well, as I move into my gratitude section, this week I'll be brief. I'm forever gracious. I wake up in a bath full of gratitude every day, but I just wanted to be specific and wanted to be brief. So I'm grateful for the beauty in my life. My life is just so beautiful right now. And so I'm certainly grateful for that. I'm grateful for angel numbers, baby. One thing about me, my spirit team does not play about me. I am being talked to and symbols are being thrown at me all day, every day. And particularly as of late, it's been through angel numbers. So I'm grateful for my spirit team who consistently has my back, and I always feel covered. I always feel divinely guided and protected, and I'm just grateful for that. I'm grateful for family. Yesterday, actually, I got to go to the pumpkin patch with a few of my family members with my son, and it was just a glorious time. So I'm grateful to reconnect and be able to do that with my family. I'm also grateful for the high level of discernment I have for myself and situations that I'm in now. I can't be easily swayed with the few words like I had been in the past. I'm proud of myself because I'm moving beyond my people-pleasing space. And so, furthermore, I'm prioritizing myself and I'm prioritizing my son, and that really feels good. So I'm grateful for that. And then lastly, I'm grateful for the opportunity to enlighten the community on sound healing this upcoming Sacred Sound Sunday in Kansas City, October 5th. I'm at the Midwest Soul Veg Fest. Come out, you don't want to miss it. There's a few people that will be out there. John Sally, Dr. Milton Mills, John Lewis, Badass Vegan, and some other notable folks. So you don't want to miss it. And I'm grateful to be able to teach the community about sound healing. It's going to be a wonderful time. This is actually episode 2 of a 5-part series that I'm doing about my healing journey and about healing itself. And I'm unapologetic because I'm going to be talking about my healing journey and the avenues that I've taken to heal that aren't exactly the avenues that people are either comfortable with or know a lot about. So I'm hoping that through these episodes, I'm able to help my audience, you, find alternative modalities. So while you're healing, you can have as many options that are available to you. Western medicine is not just it. So today, my episode is titled "The Breath is the Medicine." And now y'all already know I'm team hashtag facts over feelings. So I got to drop you some facts before we get into it. First of all, I want to start with the definition of breath. And according to the dictionary, it's a noun that means air taken into and expelled from the lungs. But symbolically, it's life, it's presence, it's spirit, it's awareness. Some synonyms for breath include inhale, exhale, respiration, air, wind, breeze, life force, prana, chi, and my favorite, spirit. So when we say breath, we are also saying spirit. And science, in fact, backs all of this up. According to research published in Frontiers in Psychology, just 5 minutes of deep breathing a day can reduce anxiety, boost your mood, improve your heart rate variability, and regulate your nervous system. And when I hear deep breathing, I think about, and I think people are alluding to, intentional breathing, because we're breathing all the time. If we don't breathe, we die. But when you are intentional about your breath, it feels different. In fact, sometimes if I'm intentionally breathing, I get dizzy because we're not taking in the prana as often and as intentional as we should most of the time. And so getting that amount of oxygen to the brain is important, but we're just not doing it enough. Breath work lowers cortisol, that little stress hormone that makes your belly fat. We don't need it. It also helps you to sleep better, supports digestion, and even aids PTSD and trauma recovery. Breath is the only autonomic function you can control. Think about that. Your heartbeat, your hormones, your digestions, there's so many systems in our bodies that we can't control because they automatically run without thinking. But our breath is something that we can consciously control. And in fact, simply thinking about how you breathe, or even just the action of how you breathe, can shift your state of being. So super important. And then another fact I want to drop: breath has been recognized as sacred in nearly every spiritual tradition. And there are specific words in each spiritual practice. So in Hebrew, breath and spirit are both roach. In Greek, it's pneuma, I think pneumonia. In Swahili, the word is pumzi, and that literally means breath and life force. And in Sanskrit, breath is prana, our vital energy. So when people say catch your breath, you're really saying catch your spirit. Think about that. That's powerful. And so let's get into it. I just want to tell you a little bit about something that I've known my whole entire life. I've known that breath is the medicine, but also breath is a bridge. Breath is a bridge to everything in my life, but particularly with each individual, breath is the bridge between your body and your mind, between the physical and the spiritual, between chaos and calm. It literally is the bridge. And here's why I know this so deeply. So a fun fact that I learned from my mom at some point in my life. I can't remember when I first learned it, but I was born by emergency C-section because my umbilical cord was wrapped several times around my neck. And so every time my mom would push, I would lose oxygen. I literally am a miracle. I don't know what the world would do without me, but here I am, and I'm grateful for the doctors, and I'm grateful for my mom who was able to get me here safely, but I did not come here without a whole lot of chaos, and it was directly connected to my inability to get breath, to get oxygen. And so knowing that actually helps me to actualize the power of breath. And breath is literally in the foundation of everything that I do. I'm a vocalist. The first thing when I went to college that I learned and that my voice teacher practiced with me on was how to control my breath. Like that was my very first lesson. And so I've used my breath to sing. I've used my breath to play the flute. I played the flute all through school, and now I play flute, recorder. I use it to speak. Here I am, using my voice to share my experience. And so without breath, I wouldn't be able to do that. And then I use it every day to speak my truth in every space that I step in, no matter where I'm at. I remember playing the organ in my childhood basement, and even how the organ moves. The organ has to take in air in order to produce sound. And so while I'm singing, the organ is also emulating my breath mechanism, which is just super powerful. Breath has given me confidence when I didn't feel seen, and actually taking control of my breath helped me to overcome my stage fright. Those of you who have known me for a long, long time know I used to get up on stage and I would shake, but I would always remember to connect to my breath. And when I connected to my breath, I would calm down. It helped me to advocate for others when I needed to speak up for others. I was horrible at speaking up for myself. Now I'm so much better, thankfully. But in the past, I would just use my voice to advocate for others. It took breath to do that. And it's literally held me steady through the hardest moments of my life. I'm in a cycle of death and rebirth and transformation. I want to get off this train, but breath has helped me through it all. And even now, it helps me with what I manifested myself in this realm to do, which is share my lived experience to help others heal. And even though I wasn't always aware of it, the breath has been my rhythm. The breath has been my reminder. The breath has been my bridge to the Most High. And even now, as I'm speaking these words to you, this vibration and this frequency, that's breath, that's energy, that's my spirit showing up. My most recent actualization to the importance of breath actually came through a book. When I was in my doctoral program, I wasn't reading for a lot of leisure. I had to read to get information to for my research. But when I was going through my doctorate, I was also going through a spiritual awakening. So I had this left brain thing that I needed to complete. I was paying money to complete my dissertation. And then I was having this right brain experience, my spiritual awakening, that I couldn't detach from. So I was having both of these happening simultaneously. But one of the books that I skim read while I was doing my dissertation was called Think Like a Monk. And I'm actually going back to actually read it because, when you skim read, you pick up some stuff, but you don't pick up all the things. But the one thing that was profound in that book was the part of the book where Jay Shetty talks about and shares a powerful story about his first day in monk school. He had just shaved his head. He didn't have the robes yet to be a monk, but he was transforming his body to be a monk. There were children at the monastery, and it was a 10-year-old teaching a group of 5-year-old monks. So, in that culture, you start at the monastery very, very young. And so he asked the boy, "What are you teaching them?" And the boy replied, "Well, I'm teaching them their first class ever." And so he asked them, "What are they learning about?" And the boy answered, "The first thing that we teach them how to do at the monastery is to breathe." So when Jay asked the little boy why, he gave him an answer that he didn't forget. And he wrote about in his book. He said, "That's because it's the only thing that stays with you from the moment you're born until the moment you die. When you get stressed, what changes? Your breath. When you get angry, what changes? Your breath. When you experience every emotion, you experience every emotion through breath. And so when you learn to manage your breath, you can navigate any situation in life." That stuck with me because it helped me to reflect on just how important breathing is. Like before we do anything, before we intercede, before we sing, before we cry, before we speak, we breathe. So I want to speak about how I actually had an intentional breathing class. They call it breathwork. I attended the 90 breathwork class virtually. So I was able to be at home. I was able to be in my bed. The facilitator came on. She started talking about what, we needed, what we could expect in the class. And then she did not conduct the class herself, but she kind of set like a recording up. And I just remember having an out of body experience. Now, at that time, I was solo parenting. So my son was in the other room. And so my attention was divided, as parents' attention often is. The attention was with my son, but most of my attention was able to be on my breath. And when I tell you I was taken on such an incredible visual journey, I literally felt high. The breath work that we were going through was intense. And I was having all of these visualizations, and I wasn't the only one because it was a virtual classroom, but there were other participants simultaneously having this experience. And so as the class ended, the facilitator came back on and just invited the participants to share what their experience was. And I'll never forget, because it was what I was thinking. But when you're in a space like that where spirits are lifted and you're all interconnected in that way, you start to think how the other people think. And so one of the participants talked about how she had sought out medicinal journeys, plant medicine, psilocybin, ayahuasca, all of these things, but she in that moment realized that that was something that she never even needed or never will need, because breath is the medicine. And so that stuck with me because I was in tears as she said that, because I was feeling that. I was feeling how powerful the breath is. And so my call to action for you in this moment is to simply notice your breath. This week, I want you to intentionally focus on it. Don't change your breath right away. Don't force it. Just notice. When you wake up, I want you to pause for a second. Notice your inhale. Notice your exhale. In a stressful moment, we all have stressful moments during our week. Stop and ask yourself, am I holding my breath? That's what I do. I hold my breath and then I get tense right up in here. This is where I hold all of my chaos right up in here in my shoulders. And then if you are feeling that you're holding your breath, release your breath and then breathe deep and through your nose, out through your mouth. When I was teaching elementary kids, part of the social emotional learning that we walked them through had to do with breathing. And one of the calm down techniques that was taught was the 5-finger breath. So they would take their finger, as they moved it up their hand, they're inhaling. And then as they move it down their finger, they're exhaling. And then they would go through each finger like this, inhaling and exhaling very slowly. And the intention is by the time they get to their thumb and to the back to the bottom of their hand, then they are calm. Which that was a tool that some of my students were able to access in their chaos. So that was perfect. But we're actually right now going to try a simple practice together. It's really simple. If you're driving, just keep your eyes open and just follow along. But if you're somewhere safe, you can go ahead and close your eyes, drop your shoulders, and let your body get comfortable in the space that you are in. We're actually going to do what's called a 4-7-8 breath. And it's simple. You inhale for 4 counts through your nose. You hold for 7 counts, and then you exhale through your mouth. You can purse your mouth and give like a shh shape, or you can simply a hot breath, however you feel. I like to do a shh out. When you shh out, you put an emphasis on your diaphragm, and your diaphragm tightens to help push all of the air out of your lungs. And so that's why I like the shh. But so a rewind, press play. 4 counts in through your nose, hold for 7 counts, exhale for 8 counts through your mouth. Okay? We're going to do 3 cycles. 3 is the sacred number of my life right now. And I'm just going to snap for the counts. Let's try it. Are you ready? Get back into your relaxed space. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get ready to inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now just return to your natural breath. Feel how your body shifts. Feel how your spirit settles. That's the medicine right there. You might feel a little lightheaded. Go ahead and take your time. That's your power. And it's been with you and will always be with you until you transition out of your physical body. Thank you for doing that with me. Now, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a quote and 10 affirmations to carry your spirit this week. The quote that I found is actually a Thich Nhat. I always jack his name up. Hold up, rewind, press play. Thich Nhat Hanh. There it is. Thich Nhat Hanh. I'll be jacking his name up. It's Vietnamese. Anyway, he speaks extensively about breathing. And the quote that I picked of his is important. Your body is your first home. It's your only home, actually. Everything else is created. Breathing in, I arrive at my body. Breathing out, I am home. Yeah, you are home in you. And then the 10 affirmations to help you as you move through your week. You can repeat them after me, or you can just let them flow into your subconscious. I honor my breath as sacred. With each inhale, I welcome peace. With each exhale, I release what no longer serves me. Mm. My breath grounds me in the present moment. Breathing deeply restores my mind, body, and spirit. I am connected to the divine through my breath. Breath is the medicine, my anchor, my guide. Every inhale fills me with life and possibility. Every exhale clears space for loving and healing. I trust my breath to carry me through challenges with grace. Oh, yes. Whew, I feel so good. Well, family, thank you for tuning into this week's A Monday Moment with Dr. Mal. Thank you for sharing space with me as we remembered the sacredness of something so simple, so constant, and so divine, our breath. May your breath always bring you back to your spirit. This episode, again, is a part of my 5-part healing series. So make sure you go back and catch episode 1 if you missed it. And definitely stay tuned for episode 3, where I'll be continuing to share more of my practices and pathways that have shaped my healing journey. The upcoming episode is actually called Holistic Nutrition is the Medicine. You don't want to miss it. Until then, love and peace to all of you. Have the best week. Thank you for tuning in for A Monday Moment with Dr. Mal, now proudly a part of the Alive Podcast Network. You can find this show on the Live Podcast Network website and app, and you can find this podcast streaming across your favorite podcast streaming platforms. If you love to have the visual, you can tune into my YouTube channel, When Mallory Lives, to see this show and catch up on all my shows from the beginning.